Welcome back to my channel, guys. My name is James. As you can tell, I'm not in my normal kitchen. I'm in my secondary kitchen in Cambrils, and since I'm going to be cooking for a few more people today, I decided to make something and so I could show you from Catalonia. It's a very, very local and typical dish that you will find when you go out to eat here. It's called escalivada. It's a very healthy dish, it's easy to make, and I'm gonna show you how you can make it a few different ways. So before we get going, be sure to like the video down below, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done already for more content, and let's get started. Before we get started, if you put a kitchen towel, wet, or some paper towel underneath the cutting board, it's not going to move very easily, so that way when you're cutting, you're not going to cut yourself. This is one very important thing when you're working. Alright, now for the escalivada. As you can tell, it's a vegetable salad, so this is going to be very quick. It's just a few red peppers, some aubergine, and onions. And yes, these are actually green onions. They're not little here. They actually allow these to grow to some even bigger than this. So it's a little different. I never saw these in the US or England like this before I came to Spain. But it's a bit different. Alright, so for the aubergine, typically you leave this whole, put a little bit of oil and salt on it, and then put it in the oven. But since today I want this to cook a little faster, I'm going to cut these in half and then score them just like so, and then we're going to wrap them in some tin foil. A little bit of salt. Okay, now we wrap. Put that aside. Next one. For the green onions, I'm just going to cut off the tops and pour a little bit of oil on top. That's it. A little bit of salt. Roll them around a little bit. Okay, now after you have oil and salt over all the vegetables, we're going to place them in the oven. It usually takes about an hour to an hour and a half, or maybe a little more, depending on your oven. So, goat cheese is very typical with it, and goes very well with it, actually. And if you want to cut it nicely, and you want a clean cut, you're going to take your knife, and you're going to run it under some hot water. Just shake the water off, and now we're going to cut. And you get a nice clean piece just like this. But you'll have to do it about every time that you cut if you want a nice clean piece like this. Otherwise, when you cut a piece of goat cheese, we'll use the other piece, the other end to show you, it may not cut very well, and instead you'll start to tear it. This is only if it matters to you. If not, it doesn't matter, just cut away. And then periodically you just want to check, and if once they're more or less done on one side, you just want to turn them in the oven. The peppers are going to cook a lot faster than the aubergine. So, as I said earlier, we're going to be making this in a few different ways. I'm going to show you how we make it traditionally with the salad, and then I'm also going to make a sandwich or a baguette, in case if you want to. And I just went down to the store actually, got the baguette. It's still hot, and this is one of the great things of having a bakery next door, is that you can get fresh bread every day. It's brilliant. So, for the bread, we're just going to cut the end off, like so, and I'm going to cut more or less about this much. And that's it. Alright, now as you can tell, the peppers are done. The onions not quite, and the aubergine almost. Some of the skin may still stick a little bit to the meat, so just to help it, what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of film and we're going to stick it over the bowl. We're going to let it cool like this. And what's going to happen is it's going to trap the heat, it's going to sweat, and that's going to make the skin easier to peel off. So when the aubergine comes out of the oven, you want to cool it off. You can put it in a colander and let it cool for a few minutes. And then I'm going to show you the next step in a sec, after these cool off. Okay, and then after a little while, you're just going to take the film off, and then the skin should start to peel off. If you did it right, it'll come off easily. Sometimes it doesn't come off very well. but it comes right off. And you're just going to peel all the skin and then take out all the seeds. Okay, and now for the aubergine, you're just going to peel the skin right off. It's very easy after it's cooked. Now we're going to start cutting. So we're going to cut everything basically in julienne, very thin. And for the peppers, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to cut them on julienne. So now we're just going to let it drain for a few minutes, drain all the excess water, and we're going to season it. Alright, now we're just going to cut a tomato in half and make some pan con tomate. It's very, very typical here in Catalonia. You literally take a tomato, take some bread, spread it on, just the juice, then we're just going to take a little bit for the pan. We're going to mix it because this is going to be just for the bread, and it's already seasoned and you can taste it as well if you want. We're going to put this here and we're just going to put it on top. Okay, now we can take a little bit of the queso de cabra, or the goat cheese that we cut earlier. I'm going to put it on top, and a little bit of mozzarella, just a bit, because the mozzarella melts a lot easier than the goat cheese. Now, one thing with the scagliavada, you can eat it either cold or hot, it doesn't matter, one of the two. Now we're just going to put this back in the oven to melt the cheese and toast the bread. And that's it, guys. It's very simple to make, and if you want to make this for lunch, I would highly suggest putting the vegetables in the oven earlier, obviously, because they're going to take a while. But once you make it, if you have leftovers, you can freeze it for later, so it makes it very easy to make later on. So as always, guys, thank you for watching. Be sure to like the video down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. And I also like to thank Chef Jeff. He's helped me greatly since I started my cooking videos. I was doing some travel videos before the crisis, and he's helped me out quite a bit, and I'll leave his link down below. He has some great and healthy ideas for summer, so be sure to check his channel out. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.